I'm here with Lynn Rogers, author of Born in Berkeley, first of a series of books about coming of age in the Bay Area during the 1960s. I just finished reading that book. I haven't read the other books yet, but the book that I read certainly makes me want to read them. So, Lynn, uh, what inspired you to write the book, to start the series in the first place?
Well, when I met my second husband, I went back to San Jose State and just immersed myself for a while in creative writing programs,
Mm.
particularly with Dr. Naomi Clark. Came up with a short story that they were pleased with, which had to do with memories of having journeyed in Mexico with some of the iconic figures while still kind of a kid, just trying to find my way and to grow up and seeing it through fresh eyes. So then later, I thought this needs to be filled out. And so I developed other scenes to make it a book and a coming of age story.
Mm. Did you find that as you were writing it, you were remembering more things? Things got clearer as you got into it.
I think we always have what I call a hidden observer, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not always aware of the hidden observer. And when we
Mm-hmm.
go into that writing state, and as you do as a poet, Howard, we let it come through us. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of details, and it comes from that deeper part.
Yeah,
And but I wasn't too far from the experiences,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yes.
yeah. It does come across, especially the part in Mexico, because Kali is, we're almost hearing her subconscious thoughts at times, and it really, it blends in with, the events of the time, what we now know about the time with the Merry Pranksters, and things that were going on.
I think it was really, without realizing it, I was tapping into the beat tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Neil Cassidy, who's
Mm-hmm.
there, was the prototype of Jack Kerouac for his
Yeah.
character Dean Moriarty. I was absorbing all that beat style
Mm-hmm.
in a post-beat period, and without even knowing it. And I think my writing style being spontaneous, rolling with new experiences on the side roads, it really fit in with the beat tradition, which
Yeah.
is why I'm called a post-beat independent author.
I think you're right. I found it to be very poetic, and it was a nice blend of narrative and internal dialogue, which came out. There's passages in it that are quite beautiful, and it does. One thing I noticed too is that because I remember we didn't even have the term hippie until like right
Herb,
around the Summer of Love, so in 19
Herb Kane coined it in June of
right
1966.
right
So many
1969.
of these
Yeah.
experiences are taking place before that was
Yeah.
coined. And there is sort of a post beat, like going in the book in coffee shops where Joan Baez and
Mm.
Ira Sandpearl hung out
Yeah.
with your black turtleneck. And
Yeah.
as Anne Marie Maxwell says, then she was a beat. She said all of a sudden colors exploded on the scene.
Yeah, it seems like this was like slightly before that time, and it does seem more
And
beat
through
in a
it.
lot of ways than it seems hippie. And
Yeah.
you do get a sense that if there was a soundtrack to it, this was just my impression, but if there was a soundtrack to it, it seems like it would have been maybe Joan Baez or some kind of folk music,
Yeah.
not necessarily
Very
rock
early
music.
Bob Dylan, Odetta
Yeah.
at the Gate of Horn,
Hmm.
still connected to the movements for social justice.
Hmm.
So I'm not an author who celebrates so much of the drug scene coming in. I think it rather put a damper on a wonderful sense of progress and energy and vitality. People have different views. For me,
Yeah.
the creativity and the purposefulness and the being able to be outside the dominant culture and was made it the best of times and the worst of times. I was a bit young to be having the experiences.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, did you find that there was a split as time went on? There was a split between like people that were involved in the protests, the Vietnam protests, and the civil rights protests, and the people that were born into the drug scene.
I would say because the ones who were involved in the Vietnam and actually a lot of them were older, like Malvina Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Folks there, little houses made of ticky tacky, and we had been raised on Dr. Spock, and all of a sudden there was emphasis on your children's needs for these post-war heroic people who'd gone through the Depression. They were able to really coddle us and let us express ourselves, and we looked up to some of the adults who had a sense of purposefulness, or I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that was maybe the more golden time for me. The other, which is celebrated in the in the counterculture, had its good points. It certainly the playfulness and the colorful aspects of it.
Hmm. Okay, it's 5 minutes.